Hi there. Today I'm going to be giving you the instructions on how to make your muscles flip project. I could not find my lower extremity finished product, so I'm going to show you a finished product of the upper extremity for now. So this is what it's going to look like. Anterior muscles are going to be on the front, layered. Posterior muscles are going to be on the back, layered. So this is what it's going to look like. So at the end of this, it should relatively look like your muscles. So let's see how to do this. First step is you have your drawing here and you have your construction paper. I folded my construction paper in half just so that I got an idea of what's the middle. You don't have to if you don't care. It's totally up to you. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold this, and you have to match the greater trochanters. I worked really hard at trying to get it to be even where you could fold the paper directly in half. However, that never actually happened. So I put this up against the light or up against a window so you could see through the paper, and you're going to align the greater trochanters. And it is going to look something like this. Okay? Again, it's not going to overlap evenly. Even here at the bottom, it's going to be a little off. But in the end, it's not really going to matter because you're going to cut it out. Okay? So then what it's going to look like is this. As you're cutting, make sure that you do want to get close to the bone, but make sure you're not cutting off the bone, especially some of those bony points or landmarks that you're going to need later on. So after you've cut it out and made sure that you didn't get rid of any of the bone, we're going to tape it onto the construction paper. I've used masking tape to do this, and I've colored it blue so that you can see it a little bit better. We're going to tape it down at the sacrum. Then we're going to flip it over and tape it at the sacrum again. This way you now have, as you saw, a paper that flips, right? I have taped together the edges here with masking tape. You can also glue it. It really doesn't matter. It's up to you. Now for the muscles. You're going to take each muscle, like I said, and apply it to this drawing. The easiest way that I've found to do the muscles is take scrap paper. Using full paper makes it very difficult. And the scrap paper doesn't need to be that big. Some of the muscles are super tiny, some of them are bigger. So here's the adductor brevis, right? Doesn't need to be huge. The rectus femoris is going to be a little longer, right? So different size construction paper is okay. What we're going to do is I have my students have it go exactly from origin to insertion. You're showing your teacher that you know exactly where this muscle goes. You're going to be using your anatomy drawings, your anatomy resources to see the origin and insertions as well as the layers of the muscles. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start my construction paper here at the AIIS, right? And I'm going to go to the tibial tuberosity. So since I don't want it just looking like this, I'm going to scooch it over a little bit. So now my tibial tuberosity is here. You can actually see it, right? And I'm going to cut it out, making it look like a little muscle. So after I cut it out, it might look like this, okay? Where when I lay it down, it goes exactly to the AIIS to the tibial tuberosity. If you want to, if you're allowed, you write the name on the front. Notice you could still see my pen marks to where I kind of outlined it before I cut it out. So I've got the name here on the front, and then if you flip it over, you have the actions here on the back. This way it can kind of help you not only see the origin and insertions, but then you flip it up and you see the actions. So I've pre-applied my tape just because, like I said, I'm trying to do this one-handed. So you're going to apply it, right? And then you are only going to tape it at the insertion or origin, excuse me. Okay, so I've got it at the AIIS. You can kind of see it through the Scotch tape, which is why Scotch tape is kind of nice, but you can use masking tape. Or at least that's what I do. So it starts from the AIIS. As I remove my hand, it inserts at the tibial tuberosity. So now we can see exactly where it goes. You only tape it at the origin so that you can now flip it up and see the action. As you do this, then each of the muscles, as you do the layers, that's why we're doing insertions only, because as you do the layers, you can go and look at each muscle and uncover it and be able to then like reveal where the rhomboid goes, right? And then we can flip up the rhomboid. Then we can see the latissimus dorsi. My student didn't do it all the way down. So she only did one part of the vertebrae. And then this is important, at least for my students, is if a muscle goes around, or in this case, underneath the arm, it starts posterior, goes anterior, I expect my students to actually go posterior to anterior. So the teres major and the lats start on the posterior side and insert on the anterior side. So you can see that they start here on the posterior side. We flip it over. We uncover everything. Like I said, we got the layers going on, right? You would think that it would be up a little bit easier than it is. And here on the anterior side, you can see that the lats go to the greater trochanter, right? And the teres minor or major will go to the bicipital groove, and therefore it all goes from origin to insertion. Okay? So that's how you do your muscles flip project.